Who can say where the road goes, where the day flows? Only time. And who can say if your love grows as your heart shows? Only time.
Morning. Welcome back to history class. I hope you had a good Semana Santa. We've been talking about the Roman Empire, and starting today, we're going to start moving toward the end of it. Okay, so let's pick up today. We talked about how it was split into two different empires, and that the Emperor Constantine, he set up a new capital in the east called Constantinople, and he made Christianity illegal and said, stop trying to hurt the Christians. But we're going to jump ahead about 100 years now to the year 441, a time when Rome was in trouble. Its glory days were behind it. It was not nearly as strong as it used to be. The lessons that were learned from Julius Caesar and Augustus and others were forgotten. The people had become weak. They've been just in charge for so long that they were thinking that was the way it was always going to be. They were always going to be the most powerful people in the world. They started to become weak. Their armies weren't as strong. Their rulers weren't as strong. The politicians were corrupt. They were looking out only for themselves and not for anyone else. Their armies were not nearly as well trained as they used to be. Well, that was the cue for this guy. This big, scary-looking dude was the leader of a people called the Huns. Who were the Huns? The Huns were people from the eastern part of Asia who had moved into Europe. You guys remember a long time ago we talked about the nomads, people who wandered around from place to place. Well, the Huns were nomads. And their leader was this big, scary-looking dude, and his name was Attila. Attila the Hun. We know almost nothing about Attila the Hun from before he became king, because his people didn't keep very good records. We know that he became king somewhere around the year 434. And the Huns, like I said, they moved around. So they didn't build great buildings. They didn't write wonderful plays. They didn't build statues. They just moved into an area and took over what they needed. They did spend some time attacking Persia and taking its wonders and its gold and its silver. But after they were done with Persia, they turned their attention to Rome. Attila and his mighty Hun army came down on Rome like an elephant standing on an eggshell. The Roman army was supposed to be the best trained army in the world, but they were no match from the sheer force of Attila's attack. Attila and the Huns, they fought from horseback. See, the Romans, they didn't do that very often. They fought close together with their shields up, so it was harder for people to attack them with swords. But Attila attacked with swords from his horses, and so did his men. And so when they attacked, they're on their horses, the Romans were standing over them. The Huns would just come down and just run right over them. And Attila was a mighty, mighty man. He won nearly every battle that he fought, and the Romans could not stand against him. The Western Empire of Rome at this time was almost completely gone by now. It was breaking up. People were splitting off and making their own countries. And Attila took advantage of this time of weakness to attack. The Romans could not stop him. In desperation, they tried to pay him off with money. Attila would say, "Give me all your money and I won't attack." 6,000 pounds of gold at one point were delivered to Attila to try to get him to stop. And Attila would take that money and he would leave for a little while and then he would come back. Rome was getting destroyed by Attila. And like I said, the Western Empire had almost completely disappeared by this time anyway. For more than 10 years, Attila the Hun hammered into Rome, weakening them even more than they were. And in the year 453, he was getting ready to attack Eastern Rome. He was getting ready to attack Constantinople and destroy it and take all of its goods for himself until in the year 453, he was having a party. And at this party, there was lots of food, and there was lots of women, and there was lots of alcohol. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of alcohol. Attila got drunk. Blind, stinking drunk. Too drunk to even stand. He went back to his party and he went back to the party to his tent and fell asleep in his tent, his tienda. And while he was there, passed out from his alcohol, he got a nosebleed. He started having blood come out of his nose, sangre come out of his nariz. Now, normally that's not that big a deal if you get up and take care of it. But Attila was so drunk that he didn't know that he was sleeping off his alcohol and didn't wake up from it. The blood from his nose poured into his mouth and choked him. And he died that way. He choked on his own blood from a nosebleed. One of the mightiest barbarian leaders who ever lived choked to death from his own blood because he was too drunk to do anything. There's a lesson there. The Huns buried Attila and they stopped attacking Rome, but it left the Roman Empire much, much weaker than it already was. It would never be a strong empire again. Every year, it got a little bit weaker and a little bit weaker and a little bit weaker. And more of these barbarians attacked. We will talk some more about them tomorrow. But so somebody take away from this now is that Rome is not longer a place of strength. It's a place of weakness. It's becoming weaker all the time. All right? All right, let's go over our questions for today. Question number 1. Who is the most famous barbarian leader to attack Rome? And that was Attila, also known as Attila the Hun. Number 2, how did he and his men fight? And the answer is they fought from horseback. They used horses in battle, and the Romans weren't prepared for this kind of attack. And question number 3, how did he die? He choked to death on his own blood. Yeah, what a mess. Okay. We're going to stop there for now. Tomorrow we'll pick up and find about some other barbarians who attacked Rome. So for now, why don't we stop? And I will see you on Tuesday.